Hey, good morning, everyone. You know the drill. It's Nebraskan Gooner with another episode of Breakfast Trades. Today, we're going to talk about time frames, all right? Context of time frames and understanding how time frames actually work and what they mean. We have a lot of new traders and investors to the space, and I don't think everyone fully grasps the concept of how time frame matters as far as trading and investing. So we're going to hit that topic home, and I hope you enjoy. So here we have a monthly chart, all right? If you see a chart on Twitter, go to the top left, figure out what time frame it is. If this was a 1 minute chart and I had an idea on it, it would likely happen very fast. If I have a monthly chart and I have an idea on it, it's likely going to take a lot more time to play out, all right? So this would be more for investment purposes or, long-term swing trades if you're going to be looking at a monthly chart, because this monthly candle does not close for another 2 to 3 weeks. A lot is going to happen in 2 to 3 weeks, right? So this candle could look way different at the end of that time frame. So if you're looking at a monthly time frame, you would expect the idea to take longer to play out. But if you want to know what's going to happen in the meantime, and you want to try to figure out what's going to happen in the next 2 weeks, that's when you start zooming into lower time frames. So then you can go to your weekly chart, you can go down to your daily chart, and you can even go down to as low as 1 minute chart if you like, or second charts, but those are pretty relevant. All right, so let's say we have a 4-hour chart here, and I'm not doing any TA right now, you guys. I'm not doing any analysis. I'm just going to throw out random lines just so you can get the idea of time frame concept. So let's just say that for Bitcoin, we have a very strong resistance here, all right? And again, this is not analysis, you guys. I'm just drawing lines. Let's say this is a really strong resistance here, and we think that Bitcoin is going to drop to, let's just say 37K, all right? Down to this next support area that's down here. Okay? But let's say we zoom out, and again, this is a 4-hour chart. Let's say we zoom out to the weekly chart, and we say, all right, there's actually no resistance here at this level on the weekly. Our resistance is actually up here. All right. And the weekly, this is a strong bullish candle, so we're going to say this is bullish, and we expect the weekly to push up to 42.5K. All right. So we're just going to say that's what we expect, and on a weekly time frame. But price is at 40,600. So do I want to buy here as a trader? Do I want to leverage a position here if I'm a trader? I don't know. I need to go to lower time frames and figure that out. So then when I go to the lower time frame, to the 4-hour chart, I say, okay, well, it looks like on the weekly the price is going to go up to this level, but on a daily but on the 4-hour time frame, we're at resistance now, and I've got bearish divergence, again, not analysis, and the bearish divergence is showing that we could probably pull back, and if we pull back, we could go to this support. So we could get a pullback here, because remember, you guys, it's only Monday, so the weekly close isn't for another 6 days. So we pull back to this 37K area, and then we go up to this 44K area or 42K area, whatever we said. We go back to the weekly chart, and we see that drop to 37K really didn't matter, and now we're up to 42K, and it's a nice big green candle, and that's our next resistance. All right. So any move on a weekly chart we could expect to take a little bit longer. On this 4-hour chart, it may take a few days, but time frame is always important. So then we can zoom into like the 5-minute chart. All right. So let's say that this idea we think is valid, and we think we're going to pull back, and we go to the 5-minute chart, and we say, oh, well, the 5-minute chart is actually bullish. I think that we could actually push up to 41K area based on this chart and all the indicators. And then if we reject there and we have bearish divergences, maybe then we pull back to our 37K area. All right. So you guys see how different time frames can show different ideas? All right. Now, again, this is not analysis, so I didn't actually look at any indicators. I'm just making this up as we go. But you see how the 4H is at resistance, but that doesn't mean that the 5-minute chart can't show a push up, and that 5-minute push up could probably only take 15, 20, 30 minutes, maybe an hour tops, before we end up getting that 4-hour rejection at resistance, which would take us back to support on the 4-hour and then take us back up to the weekly resistance at 42K over time. All right. So anytime I post anything on Twitter, I want you guys to understand the time frame context. So if I'm posting a 30-minute chart, I expect that play or that trade or that idea and the price action to play out within the next few hours as an intraday idea. All right. So if I post a monthly chart the day before that shows something completely different, I hope you understand how much those don't intertwine. A monthly chart will be standalone from a 30-minute chart. Whatever happens in that 30-minute chart in the next 3 or 4 hours is not going to do anything to change the whole monthly picture. So if I think price is going to go down to 28K on the monthly chart, but the 4-hour chart or the 1-hour chart or the 30-minute chart shows that price could go up to 40K first, those are two completely different ideas and two completely different contexts. On that note, you should understand if you're trading and you're trading on a certain time frame, you should not be overlapping that onto another time frame. And what I mean by that is you really shouldn't be trying to hold for huge gains on a 5-minute chart that you would be able to get on a 1-hour chart or a 4-hour chart or a 1-day chart. All right, because you're going to see a lot more price movement on the higher time frames than on the lower time frames. And lower time frames you can only hold for 1 or 2% usually, and that's usually a pretty quick move. So what you can see here, you guys, is if I'm trading on a 5-minute chart, I might get some nice up moves and down moves, but overall we're going to see a lot less big expansion on a 5-minute chart. If we zoom out from the 5-minute chart to the 2-hour chart, you can see that all of that price action was pretty irrelevant, and we're getting a lot more straightforward moves here than a lot of the chop. So 5-minute idea is not going to carry you this far. You're going to need to look up to higher time frames for that. So low time frames, you guys, you should be holding trades a lot lower time. If you're trading high time frames, you can obviously hold them a little bit higher. I would say that one of the times I take losses is if I have like a 1-minute trade or a 5-minute trade or even a 15-minute trade, and I'm trying to hold them on higher time frames. So I enter that position on the 1 through the 5-minute, and then I look at an hour chart and I say, oh, I think this 1 hour is going to reject or bounce, and then I try to hold it longer. Well, on the low time frames, I actually get wicked out or stopped out or whatever, but then on the higher time frame, my idea does play out and it continues to go that way. So my entries, though, were only on that low time frame, and there was no entry I had set for the higher time frame. So I really can't overlap those trades, and I have to be really willing to stay on the time frame that the trade is intended for. And then once I take that trade, close it, whatever, then I can zoom out, look on higher time frames, and find another trade on that time frame for that context, and then I can attempt to hold it for the length of time that works for that time frame. Thanks so much for watching, you guys. If you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe, come visit me on Twitter. Feel free to ask any questions you guys have. I always am willing to answer questions and help. And if you want more in-depth content and information from me, you can check me out at elevatetrading.com. Peace.